look at a Game Boy, you could say that might be the trigger that set everything off.
It may be the most addictive toy in history, and it's definitely the hottest thing this Christmas. Nintendo video games.
When you throw a pretty big net out there, you're going to get a lot of people.
People who like to play video games will get their hands on it and not be able to put it down.
The Game Boy was the king of the market. If you didn't have one, were you even human?
The Nintendo company is best known for making video games, but they used to manufacture playing cards and toys. It all started when a designer on staff named Gunpei Yokoi noticed a man playing with a calculator on a train. He thought to himself that creating a miniature game where the goal was to kill time would be pretty clever. Thus, the Game & Watch was born. Each unit had a clock in the top right and one game built in that you could not change. During this time, Nintendo developed the NES and released it in 1983.
The graphics. The games are so realistic that I'm hooked. I can't stop playing.
Home video sales are now $5 billion a year, and Nintendo owns 80% of that market.
There's much more involved in playing the game, much more excitement. It's not just stick figures anymore.
There are actually competitions like this one in bars with prize money.
I think it's a fad. Yuppies like to spend money, and you definitely can spend a lot of money at this. There's a new game out every week, it seems like.
Gunpei Yokoi wanted that same experience everywhere he went and created the Game Boy. This was a far superior device to the Game & Watch with removable game cartridges and a link connection for multiplayer.
Fans of that game who got to play it on their NES, which you remember at the time, 89, 90, you couldn't bring that with you in a car. You couldn't bring that with you on the train. You couldn't bring that with you on long trips, but you could bring the Game Boy.
The Game Boy was a worldwide success because it was half the cost of competitors, and the high-caliber games like Tetris were loved by everyone.
And now you can take Nintendo wherever you want to go with the Nintendo Game Boy.
To be able to walk around with a handheld game and play, it just, to this day, it's just amazing.
In 1996, Pokemon debuted on the Game Boy and became a cult phenomenon, spawning off a TV series and trading card game.
That's all they're wanting now is pure Pokemon. We haven't sold any yo-yos or Star Wars merchandise in a long time.
Seeing Pokemon go from this blue little guy with a Pikachu following me around, or yellow I guess, to then see everything in full sprite, hearing Pikachu like you did on the cartoon.
Pokemon the movie joins Pokemon the video game and Pokemon the trading card as must-sees and must-haves.
Pokemon was really big, so it was like, hey, I want to trade. What version do you have? I have blue, I have red. Like, yeah.
These boxes here have actually gone up in price faster than some of our football boxes. This one box there has tripled in price, so it's caused the price of the packs to go from about $2.99 all the way up to currently at about $6.99.
Just a month?
Less than a month, about a week and a half to 2 weeks.
So I remember getting it for Christmas when I was like 8 or 9. I went through like 6 pairs of batteries and beat like 4 gyms. Like that was my Christmas, that was it. So it was monumental for me and millions of kids, for sure.
Over the next few years, the Game Boy would be improved by making it smaller and adding a color screen. In 2001, the Game Boy will receive a major overhaul, and the Game Boy Advance will be the result. Nintendo had yet another hit on their hands. The addition of shoulder buttons allowed for more complex gaming, and it also had the ability to play all previously released Game Boy games, giving players access to over 1,000 titles.
And that's convenient because of just how many games you had. You didn't have to rush out and buy a whole new catalog if you couldn't afford or didn't want to. It was hugely successful.
With no other competitors in their way, it was full steam ahead, and in 2004, Nintendo would disrupt the industry again with the Nintendo DS, a device like nothing before it. 2 LCD screens, a touch display, wireless and Wi-Fi capabilities, a microphone, and powerful enough to handle 3D polygons.
One of the reasons that helped the DS sell, I think Nintendo got more market savvy and they pushed it towards different audiences. It definitely wasn't just like a kid's thing.
The DS marked a huge leap in performance power, and gamers rejoiced the ability to play such expansive games on the go.
I mean, a lot of those games you couldn't get on other systems. You couldn't get, you know, You're not gonna get your Pokemon, you're not gonna get your Mario, you're not gonna get any of those other titles. And then you branch out, you start adding RPGs, you start doing, you know, Fire Emblems, you start doing other games. All of a sudden it becomes, why don't I have that system?
I think if you look into the history of Nintendo, one of the big things that I feel like Miyamoto and Yokoi was, if we're gonna do this innovation, we want to do it kind of all at once and try to get it so it really is something special and hopefully not too many little things in between, which sometimes doesn't work.
The DS would become the second best-selling console of all time, just underselling the PlayStation 2 by 1 million units. After the enormous success of the DS, fans were eager to see what the next big move from Nintendo would be. However, what fans got was lackluster. The Nintendo 3DS will be the company's next console.
You'll get to experience today not just a new technology, a new device, but the opening of a vast new world in 3D entertainment.
And yeah, I'm here this morning and I'm picking up my 3DS in about 30 minutes.
I love the fact that you can enjoy video games without using glasses.
I think the 3D part of the 3DS this sounds weird, is probably the least important aspect of what the 3DS was able to do.
It would feature a gyroscope, circle pad, 3 cameras, and of course 3D graphics without the use of special glasses.
But it didn't have the charm and allure that Nintendo had. It didn't have that, oh, he has it, so I must have it kind of allure. It didn't have any of that.
Overall, fans felt like the 3DS didn't offer anything new other than a gimmick. Gamers wanted more, and the 3DS was an obvious setback. Being able to play expansive home console games anywhere has always been the pinnacle of what handheld gaming is trying to achieve, and Nintendo is attempting to do that with their latest device, the Nintendo Switch. The system takes everything that is great about the old consoles and combines them into one package. With the Switch, players are no longer tied to a couch to play huge AAA titles like Zelda.
Nobody else has done that. Like Sony, they had their PSP and their PS Vita, but those ones that you always kind of locked to this low-end hardware on the go, and then you had your PS4 which you use at home, but now with the Switch you can just bring it everywhere.
Each controller side can also be used individually for local 2-player action. The console is a true hybrid and jack of all trades. The system is less than a month old, but gamers and critics alike can see the potential in it, and it's sold out everywhere.
A few people have tried to do the same exact thing, but it never worked out because they don't have the same market that Nintendo has.
I remember getting an NES as a kid when I was like 7 or 8 years old and playing that gray box, and I had an N64 and I've followed it all the way through. And now that we're getting this handheld in something we could play at home, that's really cool. I think in a year's time it's gonna really be something special. We just gotta give it some time.
Ever since the Game Boy, handhelds have been trying to match the power of home consoles, and the Nintendo Switch might have realized that dream.